Welcome to the EZU video about the day close workflow in EZLynx accounting. This video is a step-by-step training to complete the day-end closing procedures to reconcile your accounting books. We will not be covering every button or feature on the pages you see as we have a mission to complete. To learn about every button or feature, check out the videos we reference throughout the training. In this course, you will learn how to check for unapplied and undeposited funds, reconcile deposits, checks, and direct bill cash, and export transactions to the general ledger. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. Reconciling the accounting books at the end of each day is important for catching errors and omissions and making sure your premium trust is in balance. A missed receipt or check could result in a policy cancellation, and an incorrect deposit could result in an overdrawn bank account. By checking balances daily, it's easier to find and correct errors when they occur. You'll want to complete these steps at the end of each day to find errors and missed tasks in accounting before they grow into big issues. Although we call these day-end closing procedures, the frequency is up to you. Keep in mind that a less frequent closing process is a trade-off. The time you save by not performing these steps every day could mean more time later to track down any issues. The first objective in the day close workflow is to check for unapplied funds. When a receipt is entered, it posts to an unapplied cash account. A receipt can be applied to an invoice, commission statement, expense, income, or write-off. There are circumstances in which it might be necessary to leave a receipt unapplied. For example, the invoice has not been created, the statement has not been received, or the balance will be applied to a future invoice. Barring such a circumstance, it is best practice to apply the receipt as soon as possible. In order to check for unapplied funds, we need to run the unapplied cash report. To do this, hover over the accounting icon and select Reporting. Now, click on the Cash tab and select the unapplied cash report. When the report opens, select the current date for the as of date. Then, you can choose to group by payer, payment type, or payment date. If you have multiple branches within your agency, you can select which branches to include and if you want to group the list by branch. When you're ready, click the Run Report button. When the report generates, you can navigate through multiple pages using the arrow buttons. Should you need to export the report, select a format from the drop-down menu, then click Export. A file will automatically download to your computer in the selected format. Additionally, you can print the report by clicking the printer icon. Please keep in mind, you will have these options within every report we discuss throughout the video. Once you've reviewed the list of unapplied receipts, you'll want to apply the receipts not posted on the report that should be included, if applicable. To apply a receipt to an invoice, navigate to the customer's account in EZLynx. Now, click on the Invoices tab and scroll down to the Invoices grid. Find the invoice that the receipt needs to be applied to, click on the Actions drop-down in the far right column and select Pay. When the Pay Invoice window appears, you can choose whether to create a new receipt or choose from an existing one. If you're creating a new receipt, fill out each field accordingly. If the customer paid by check, don't forget to include the check number in its respective field. At the Deposit drop-down, we recommend selecting an existing deposit when applicable, or none to create the deposit later. If new is selected, then the bank account can be selected for the deposit to be created. If an agency has branch accounting, then only the bank accounts visible to that branch will be displayed. Additionally, if the customer made a credit/EFT payment, instead of choosing a deposit, you must select the bank account. When you're done, click Save. The payment receipt is now applied, and the invoice is finalized. To learn more about applying receipts, check out our How to Apply a Receipt video. The second objective is to check for undeposited funds. Any cash or checks received should be added to the deposit. To do this, hover over the accounting icon and click on Reporting. Once again, click on the Cash tab and scroll down to find the Undeposited Funds report. When the report appears, make your selection for each field, as we did a moment ago for the unapplied cash report. Remember, the as of date should be the current date, since we're focused on day close activities. When you're ready, click Run Report. When the report generates, review the list for cash and checks not yet deposited. Once you've reviewed the list of undeposited funds, you'll want to apply the receipts not posted on the report that should be included, if applicable. To apply a receipt to a deposit, hover over the accounting icon and select Receivables. Next, click on the Deposits tab. If you do not currently have an open deposit ready to be finalized, you can click on the Add Deposit button to create one for the current day. If you already have an open deposit, you can click on the reference number to pull up the deposit details. The first thing you'll want to do on the deposit overview page is add any missing receipts that should be included in today's deposit. To do this, click the Add Receipt button. In the Select Receipts window, check the box to the left of a receipt to apply it. You can use the search feature at the top of the window to search by applicant name. Once you've made your selections, click the Select button. You can now see the additional receipts have been added to the deposit. Next, we need to make sure the deposit total equals the receipt total. To adjust this, click on the Actions drop-down and select Edit. Make sure the reference number, bank account, and deposit date are correct, then enter the receipt total in the Control Total field. When you're done, click Save. You can see our deposit total and receipt total are the same now. If you're ready to finalize the deposit, click on the Actions drop-down again and select Finalize. The status of our deposit now says Finalized. To learn more about adding receipts to deposits, check out our How to Enter Receipts, Finalize Deposits, and Run Reports video. The third objective is to reconcile deposits. Reconciling the cash and checks received against the amount deposited helps minimize the chance of funds being misplaced or a deposit being incorrectly recorded. To do this, hover over the accounting icon and select Reporting. Now, click on the Cash tab and select the Deposit Summary Report. Unlike the two other reports we've already discussed, this report will need to have a starting date and ending date. Since we're focused on day close, both will be the current date. When you're ready, click Run Report. Here, we can see the deposit we finalized in the previous step. If the value in the report is incorrect, you'll need to reverse the deposit and create a new one with the correct amount. To reverse the deposit, hover over the accounting icon and click on Receivables. Now, click on the Deposits tab and find the deposit in question. In the far right column of the deposit, click on the Actions drop-down, select Refund Reverse, then click Yes to confirm. A new line for the deposit will be created for the reversal. To create a new deposit for the correct amount, follow the same steps we went through in the previous objectives. To learn more about the pages we covered, check out our How to Apply a Receipt and How to Enter Receipts, Finalize Deposits, and Run Reports videos. The fourth objective is to reconcile checks. Reconciling checks recorded against the check register helps identify any incorrectly recorded checks. To do this, hover over the accounting icon and click on Reporting. On the Cash tab, select the Check Register Report. Once again, the starting and ending dates will both be the current date. When you're ready, click the Run Report button. If you're not seeing checks on the report that should be there or the amount of a check is incorrect, you'll need to reconcile these discrepancies. Typically, amounts may be wrong because too many or not enough payables were added to the check. In order to correct a check balance, it will need to be reversed and a new check will need to be created. To reverse a check, hover over the accounting icon and select Payables. On the Checks tab, find the check that needs to be reversed. In the far right column of the check, click on the Actions drop-down, select Reverse, then click Yes to confirm. A new line for the check will be created for the reversal. To create a new check for the correct amount, click the Add Check button. Fill out the check details in the Add Check window and click Save. On the Check Details page, click on the Actions drop-down and select Add Expense. In the Add Expense window, enter a description, select the General Ledger account, and enter the correct amount. When you're ready, click Save. Once again, click on the Actions drop-down menu, select Submit, then click Yes to confirm. The new check has now been finalized. You can repeat this process for any checks that need to be resolved. The fifth objective is to reconcile direct bill cash. Direct bill payments made to the agency must be paid to the carrier or swept from your premium trust account. To do this, hover over the accounting icon and click on Reporting. On the Cash tab, scroll down and select the Direct Bill Cash Report. For the receipts from and to dates, select the current date. Make sure that Yes is selected for unpaid only. Additionally, you can choose to group results by branch or department. In the Departments drop-down, you can select all or specific departments. When you're ready, click Run Report. As you can see in the example, there are no unpaid direct bill items for the current date. Should your report come back with any unpaid direct bill items, you'll need to ensure that payment is made, or a sweep is recorded. To record a direct bill payment, navigate to the customer's account in EZLynx. On the Invoices tab, scroll down to the Receipts grid. Now, click on the Add Direct Bill Payment button. In the Add Direct Bill Payment window, select the agency branch and the policy which the payment pertains to. The date should be the current date since we're only focused on today's unpaid items. Next, select the payment type and make sure the payment to field is correct. In the Amount Due to Carrier field, enter the amount to be paid to the carrier. You can also check the box to sweep account to include the entire unpaid balance for the customer's account. Should you need to add any additional fees, you can click the Add Fee button to include those. Next, double-check that the total due and amount received fields are accurate. Please keep in mind, the amount for total due and amount received may differ in certain circumstances. Finally, choose the bank account and enter a comment if you wish to do so, then click Save. On the Receipt Details page, you can see that the payment has been recorded and finalized. To learn more about direct bill payments, check out our How to Record Direct Bill Payment video. The last objective is to export transactions to your QuickBooks General Ledger. EZLynx serves as a subledger to your QuickBooks General Ledger. You'll want to export transactions from EZLynx to your General Ledger on a regular basis to maintain an accurate trial balance. The steps in this process will depend on your QuickBooks package and export method. To review your General Ledger postings in EZLynx, hover over the accounting icon and select General Ledger. On the Postings tab, select the current date for the date from and to fields. The results will show only items with a posting date or transaction date equal to the current date. If you notice any discrepancies, you'll want to make those adjustments and resolve any errors before continuing. Don't forget, you can navigate pages using the buttons at the bottom of the page. Please keep in mind that some features and capabilities for exporting transactions to your General Ledger will only be available if you're integrated with QuickBooks Online. For assistance on what to do from here, please refer to QuickBooks documentation for the package and the export method you're set up with. That's all for this EZU course on the day close workflow in EZLynx accounting. Thanks for watching.